with us where the corn is popped and the throwback Thursdays never stop. It's a magical land not far away. All you have to do is just press play. So hop on the couch and close your eyes. Gonna party like it's 99. Join us, watch the movies of our lives with Blockbuster Wives.
Welcome to Blockbuster Wives, where your two favorite 90s babies talk about movies from the era of a certain blue and yellow video rental store. I'm your host with the most... Shea baby.
And this is Stacy. Not always good, but always reminds. And you're
Gorge.
listening to
Blockbuster Wives. That was amazing, my wife.
And does everyone remember what month it is?
It's fucking none other
Oh.
than Stephtember. Some confetti flies down. It's a work in progress.
Installment number 2.
Hell yeah. Welcome to the mic, Steph.
Thank you. Thank you.
We're so happy to have you back.
We really are.
It's been a really long
For
time.
today's film.
Yeah. We've been wanting to do this one for a while, and actually, I would say, if I may, that our listeners are the most specific about which Halloween movies, or like horror or, spoopy movies that we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like because now we've had 2 Halloweens, this is going to be our 3rd coming up. And every time they're like, wait, why didn't you do this one? This one's so iconic. Why didn't you blah, 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 blah? And we're like, shut up, lady. It's going to happen. We're going to do it. But
Hold your friggin' horses.
the craft has been coming up both years, and we've just been waiting for the right moment. And I'm so glad that we did it this month,
I'm glad I could please everyone.
Yes,
Hell yeah.
Big time crowd pleaser.
Hell yeah.
I mean, this movie, I'm sure you'll get into a corporate bullshit, but was such a big deal. I'm wondering if it was financially a big deal or just like culturally a big deal. But
Yeah.
It feels like if you wanted to be cool, you had to like the craft.
I mean,
You just had to.
you have to. You must.
Yep.
Do you remember the first time you saw it?
I don't.
Okay,
I
probably not
feel-
theaters?
I doubt it. 'Cause let's-
Blockbuster rental.
Yeah. Because it was 1996.
Right.
Okay.
So I was 12. I may have gone with friends. I don't know if I would have been dropped off at 12.
I would have, but I was the youngest daughter. You
Right.
probably wouldn't have.
Yes. You're welcome for that.
No one gave a shit what I was watching, where I was going,
I know.
what I was doing.
You
It
know,
was great.
we need to get more into your guys' sisterhood, because we haven't really talked about it at all.
That could be good.
Yeah. Okay, so what are some of your favorite, like, movie-related moments together? Like, what did that look like growing up with each other?
We created a lot of our own movies.
Yeah,
Home
baby.
videos. It was the babysitter of the 3 of us because we were in year-round school, so it felt like we were always at home, and both parents worked. So they just left us with a video camera, and we original YouTubers, and had evidence of all the stupid shit we did.
Mm-hmm. Like, we would spend, Sarah and I, our other sister, would spend hours narrating the thoughts of her cockatiel. Like, hours. She'd be like, like a dumb little voice.
Wait, I've
Hours.
never heard of this one.
Yeah. Steph was, eldest daughter. She always had grander plans. So when she was behind the helm of the camera, it was much more structured.
Yeah.
Much more organized. She
She's
was
like, I
the
have a vision.
director.
Okay.
We had the fucking Olympics.
Yeah, I
in
was
the
going to say,
backyard.
probably the most infamous video was we did the Olympics one year. I was a little too young to understand what was going on. I was probably like 5 or 6.
You were
Wait, you did the
little.
Olympics?
Yeah. So I don't even think I knew what the fuck the Olympics were. But Steph and Sarah did, like, all these different ceremonies. Is that when we taped Sarah to the floor?
I think that was a different episode, but same general year. And my neighbor across the street, Lindsay, was very influential in all of this. She was like the 4th musketeer of these shenanigans.
Oh, wow.
And she kind of drove the camera, the filming. and
But the events were,
news.
like, jumping over stools, like, racing, just, like, dumb stuff.
No, that's really creative and really funny.
We sang the national anthem, like, belted it out for the whole neighborhood to hear.
So you did these Olympics, like, out in the street?
In the backyard.
In the
We
backyard.
weren't allowed to leave the
Okay.
house. So the backyard was our playground.
We had a
Got it.
giant backyard, so.
Yeah, I loved that backyard. The fucking turtle habitat or the tortoise habitat.
I know. I look back and I was like, yeah, like a 6-year-old being like, "This is our turtle habitat," like, and I didn't really understand even what I was saying. But I just like, yeah, you guys don't have one. And Shea and Becca and Jamie were like, no.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't know.
No one has a turtle.
I'm like, I didn't know the people had them. Like, yeah, no. I was telling Steph, which because we've talked about it a million times throughout our life, that their house was like the magical house of all your friends. Like, when you go to one friend's house and they have every snack you could possibly imagine, they had like the fridge with the different drinks and the parents were chill. That was their house. So.
Again, thank you for paving that way, because I don't know if I could have gotten away with all that was I not the youngest daughter.
Well, I think they learned with me that if they told me no, I rebelled and did it anyways. And it would backfire for all parties involved. So.
Well, and truly, if your kids are at the house,
yeah, like
not on the internet, how many shenanigans can they be getting on?
Truly,
like it's fine.
Yeah,
but yeah, you definitely had it the easiest. You had the newest car.
Yeah, Steph got a rust bucket that cost more than what they paid for it, so I benefited tremendously.
They clearly learned. They're like, let's just.
And I did want to work, so I was like, I need a job, and so they're like, well, then you need a car, and then I was like, sure.
Like, absolutely, I know I do.
I'm earning this.
I mean,
like $200 paychecks.
You worked hard at Einstein, Stacy.
It was
I watched
actually
you.
very hard.
Yeah.
We had to like.
Oh, it wasn't, or
the
it was.
entire store.
It
was
was
hard.
I know.
It was like a lot of manual labor. Like every day, we had to wash every single dish and prep for the next day and clean the restaurant from like top to bottom.
Oh yeah,
by ourselves.
Yeah, restaurant dude. Food jobs are fucking hard, and if anyone argues with that, you're insane. Like, especially as like a 15, 16-year-old.
Well, I don't think I could do it now. I think I'd be too tired. I think they needed teenagers with lots of energy.
True, but even then, it's like. Your hormones are raging. You're expected to do all your schoolwork besides, and then all like the, shenanigans that you get into, like emotionally with, the people you like and your friends. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's just a lot.
Yeah, I remember washing dishes too. It was like the height of Fergie's popularity. Mm-hmm. So it felt like every 5 seconds, "Then Girls Don't Cry" came on while I was washing dishes, and it felt weird. I was like, "This is so dramatic."
That song is song makes me cry every time
and I just
I hear
washing egg residue off of 5 million containers.
Unbelievable.
Big girls don't cry.
Well, I appreciate the Einstein's franchise. I go there at least 3 times a week still.
Really?
Yeah.
I need to go.
Not only are their bagels good, their pastries. Do you ever get their pastries? Mm-hmm. They're extremely good.
Their sandwiches are good, too.
Have you had their twice-baked hash brown?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, but I've seen them.
That wasn't around in my day.
But their app is great because I can get in my car, put in my order, and when I get there, it's on the shelf ready to go. Yum. So you don't have to wait in the line. It's
so smart.
No.
Damn, I need to go to Einstein's tomorrow.
I don't know that we have one by us.
Really? You don't think there's one?
There's one where, so one time, Brent and I were getting Einstein's at our closest Einstein's, which is like Sunset, and we go in, and Steph and Dave and her child
are already there.
We're like, what the hell are you doing over here? This is like as far as possible from your house. Why were you there?
I don't remember him.
I was like, why are you coming to our town?
That feels weird when you see a sibling out somewhere where you weren't planning on.
Right.
That's happened to me and Baron before.
What are you doing?
We were at the same random gas station one day.
Wow.
And like and he like looked over at me and I looked over at him and I was just like, what? And like, you see, like you guys see each other regularly. I see my brothers regularly, but it was like very, like it felt awkward.
You're like, I should go.
And I was like, I know you're obsessed with me, but I need to go. Like just so odd, But do you remember any like memories from Blockbuster together?
I mean, you would take me because you drove.
I did. Mm-hmm. That's so kind.
Oh, that's so cute.
So you would take me. I'd pick out my dumb Jim Carrey movies.
Fuck yeah.
You were probably getting horror movies that scare the shit out of me. And I remember always asking for candy, but often getting denied because it was like freakishly expensive there.
It was really expensive.
Yeah, it was.
No. The only place I remember driving you to was Wet n Wild before it closed.
Hell yeah.
And the water was like
I do remember. Yeah,
you couldn't see your hand through it. Yes, thank you.
Ew.
It wasn't always like that, but I do remember that time, and I was like, ooh.
I never went to the original Wet n Wild, but I've heard so many stories.
It's legendary.
I got lost there one time, separated from the group, and it was panic mode.
That's scary.
That place was huge.
Yeah, it was way bigger than the rebuild.
I was going to say, because the rebuild doesn't seem that big, but also when I'm an adult, so...
Yeah, I wondered that too. But then if you look at old pictures, it's like, oh, everything was taller, it was bigger.
The acreage, the acreage just had everything spread out, and they didn't have cool water shoes or flip flops back then, so you would burn your feet and run from puddle to puddle.
Where
It was
was
awful.
it at?
It was on the Strip.
Really?
Yeah,
I think
wanna say-
the main entrance was on Paradise, but it was the between the Riviera and the Sahara.
That is so I've never.
It was awesome.
I never asked where it was, but that makes sense. But that's so weird.
So I think Fountain Blue is on the land right now.
Damn,
Yeah, it was
all the
kind of
memories
that
it holds.
outer strip area.
that's crazy. Well, that's probably when I saw you both for the first time was at Blockbuster, because Stacy and I have concluded we went to the same one, and I would always look for a specific movie and it'd never be there. So our theory is that she always got there first. And,
Snatched it first.
Yep. But that's so cute. I'm so glad you guys are here today talking about movies that you might have watched together when you were younger. Very cute.
Yep. So, if you want to transition into a scary movie that I'm sure I made you watch, that gave you terrible nightmares.
Gravity.
The Craft.
The Craft. And we're not talking mac and cheese, people.
Craft with the C.
All right, go
All
ahead.
right. There are a couple trigger warnings. There was some suicide attempts with, and also bullies prompting suicide.
Yeah.
So it happened twice. And then there was a dooming date rape scene. So,
Yeah, an actual self-harm.
right.
Yeah. It's pretty intense.
It is very intense. It's a very intense movie. Yeah. I didn't remember how intense it was.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Corporate bullshit. Some bullshit.
All right. 4 high school girls band together to create the watchtowers of the northeast, south, and west.
Tag yourself.
The dreams come true, but at a costly price. Can they weather the storm to remain friends, or does the darker side of magic ruin all the fun? And just for funsies, I was at the grocery store, doing mom shit. And I'm looking at the magazine, and there's a magazine of witches that I had to ask a gentleman to hand to me because it was, out of reach. And he's looking at me like, you are crazy.
I know
And
what
within
you are,
this-
you wench.
There's a section of Hollywood witches, and The Craft is mentioned in it.
What do they say?
Perhaps one of the most infamous witchcraft-centric movies is The Craft, which features a coven of 4 LA high school witches led by Nancy. As the powers grow, so do the negative consequences, as their use of magic ends up hurting their classmates. Determined to break that cycle, Sarah, a member of the coven, confronts the other 3 in a showdown that leaves Nancy powerless and locked in a psychiatric hospital. Sorry.
Nice.
And then it goes on a little bit more. It talks about strong and empowered female leads, a reminder that sexuality and sorcery have historically been tightly connected.
They have.
That's true.
So, this is for your coffee table.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to read thugh that.
Definitely gonna earn a mug. She still haven't.
As of this recording, she's still mugless.
Still mugless.
Disgusting.
Not gonna let you forget it. All right, so it was released in May 1996. So it was not a Halloween movie. It was not intended, I don't think.
You're right.
We're always so confused by that because it would be a perfect September, but back to school.
But maybe high school graduation.
Yeah, we were 4 years old, man.
I know.
We had not yet turned 5.
I know, it's crazy.
Wow. I'm sure you watched it at 4 years old too. I'm sorry.
I'm sure you did.
An hour and 40 minutes, so pretty close
Right
to
around
what you
there,
guys like.
yeah.
It does pass the Bechdel test through and through.
I don't know
much
how many
so.
we don't have many.
Yeah, they have to be aggressively about women for it to pass.
We probably only have 10.
Wow.
That's so wild.
I know, it's horrible. I'm going to go back and, you know what, we should ask our historian
We should.
how many there are. Okay. I'm going to ask right now as we
Okay.
talk. Okay.
So there's the quadrant of stars, and then the crush and the bully. So Sarah is played by Robin Tooney, who was in Encino Man. I couldn't picture what character she was
Wait,
without looking it up. Encino Man.
Oh,
was she just a girlfriend?
I only saw it the one time. I don't remember very well. I just remember Brendan Fraser was in Encino Man, right?
Right.
Yes.
He was the frozen guy.
So was Pauly Shore was in it. Mm-hmm. I don't remember who she was either, but I do know her dad was born in the Mayo County of Ireland, which is where I got my last name.
Interesting.
Oh,
So,
she's Irish. She looks Irish.
Yeah,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes. Nancy is played by Fairuza Balk,
Who I always think of
Fairuza
as
Balk.
Veruca Salt.
Yep,
Oh,
Veruca
yeah.
Salt, exactly.
Veruca Salt.
who's also in Almost Famous, and I remember her most from Waterboy.
Oh, yeah. What a
Famously.
career.
Yes.
What range.
God, I love her so much.
We let Drake watch Waterboy a few weeks ago, and he thought it was the funniest shit ever.
I've made it known on this show. I don't think
Famously hates
good. I
this
think it's
and
making
Brink.
fun of intellectually disabled people, which was a big thing in the 90s that I'm glad we don't do anymore.
I have different views on this. Not that I agree with people making fun of other people with intellectual disabilities. However, oh, sorry, Becca. Becca's calling.
Oh, sorry, baby.
But we have different views on it. I still want to cover it, but I know
See, I
she
don't think
doesn't want
Waterboy was intellectually disabled. He was just very, what's the word? Sheltered, and his mom kept him in
That's
this
what
bubble.
that's
You know what I
my
mean?
view too.
Because he went to college.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's for another day.
That's another.
Rochelle is played by Rachel True, who was in Half Baked and from another one of my favorite series of Sharknado.
Oh.
She's in Sharknado too.
Sharknado?
Yep.
Wow.
Bonnie is played by our Scream Queen, Nev Campbell.
Woo, love her.
Also in Wild Things.
Canadian queen.
Great. The boyfriend is Chris, who is played by Skeet Ulrich. He was also in Weekend at Bernie's. He was a punk in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh.
Yeah. And part of the Scream franchise.
He's the Scream franchise.
He is my Scream daddy.
Which later on I say the duplicates from Scream are Nev and him.
Yeah.
And when they go to the high school party, I felt like the house was the same one that was from Scream.
It looks like it.
And I tried to find on the internets no, there was no. No one thought the same thing.
I thought they looked similar too, though.
similar.
Not on
thought
the
the same
inside,
thing.
but
Yeah.
definitely on the outside.
Yeah.
And then Laura is played by Christine Taylor, who is, I feel like, the most recognizable out of this whole category of people. She was in the Brady Bunch movie, The Wedding Singer, Zoolander, Dodgeball, Tropic Thunder. She's a blonde beauty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like her small role before she really hit it big.
Yeah, and she's a fucking bitch in this movie.
What a premiere role. Like, I'm a white supremacist.
I know, it's nuts. Nuts so supreme.
Directed by Andrew Fleming, who also directed Nancy Drew, Dick, and Arrested Development, and he was the doctor in Easy A.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We love Easy A.
Easy A is so good.
So good.
Rotten Tomatoes, the tomato meter, so that's a critics.
Yes.
Yeah.
57%.
Low.
Wow.
I would have thought it'd be higher.
Maybe it became like a cult classic afterwards, you
I thought
know?
it was well made.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
And then the popcometer for the regular folks was 65%.
Wow.
Still not as high as I
Not as high as I hoped.
Huh.
The average would be like 70. So that's below our average. Mm-hmm. That's wild.
Ebert did give it 2 stars.
Oh, gosh.
He said many of the scenes in this movie had no attention span. They did not remember any of the scenes, and they existed only on their own terms. The plot, in short, is beneath our interest.
Heavily disagree as per usual.
To whose interest? Ebert, an old white guy?
And I
Sorry.
was actually thinking the movie was very well crafted because it's like introduction of each character, introduction of their problems, introduction of why they'd want to fix it.
Exactly.
How they like. I thought it was very orderly and all tied together.
It was, but guess what? It's all women-led, and
Right.
it's about witches. So he's like, fuck this in
scared.
general. God, he's so annoying. Or sorry, was.
The budget for this movie was $15 million, and
Whoa.
it raised $55.6 million worldwide.
Okay.
So this movie only cost $6 million more than Ernest Scared Stupid. And well, they don't have to pay for the garbage, so maybe that's why.
Honestly.
And the trolls probably cost a
That's
pretty
so
penny.
true.
At
But
the time,
wow,
too.
$16 million's like low.
I know. And this movie used a lot of practical effects.
And they filmed in San Francisco? That alone would be super expensive.
Nuts.
I'm surprised. That's amazing.
In Ebert's rant, he also talked about how it was this giant mansion that's supposed to be in San Francisco, but it's this Gothic thing, and he didn't think the scene matched the story.
That house is so cool.
It is very
Oh,
cool.
Gorgeous. Or wait, are they in LA? And she moved from
She
San
moved
Francisco.
from San
you're right,
Francisco.
you're right.
Yeah.
Still filming in
But
Hawaii.
still, like,
Expensive.
dude, that house, I want to go to that house so fucking bad. It's so beautiful.
It's so cool.
I agree. I did write down the coolest house ever.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the end of my corporate bullshit.
Hey. Great
Corporate
job.
bullshit.
You did amazing.
It's amazing.
So going into movie notes, what do you got?
Okay. So, yeah, I wrote the trigger warning thing. I think that's important for us to mention before any movie, so I'm glad we got that. So Fairuza Balk, just to take it back to her, I wrote some things down about her because I remembered a couple things. And then, anyway, so Fairuza? I think it's Fairuza, right? I believe it's Fairuza.
so.
Anyway, it means Persian, or it means turquoise in Persian.
Oh, because her eyes?
'Cause of her eyes.
Oh, because they're so blue.
Ah.
And she was born to a fucking musician and a belly dancer.
Wow.
And I was watching the movie because, and this is why I looked her up, because she sounds mad Canadian, and I didn't know. And usually I know the Canadians just off
She's
top,
got them in her book.
but it's because she was raised mostly in Canada.
Ah.
She was born here only for like 4 months, and then she moved to Canada and lived there most. So I was like, boom, okay, this all makes sense. Mm-hmm. She also bought an occult shop while they were filming this movie,
Oh, nice.
which I was like, of course you did. You're so cool.
So was she rich before this?
So she starred in Return to Oz, which was Disney's, what's it called? Sequel to Wizard of Oz.
She must have been pretty young.
She was very young.
Okay.
What was her character?
She was like the main girl. Yeah.
Oh, so she probably got a nice little chunk of change there.
Yeah, and that was like a really popular movie that they made because it was like Disney's version of Wizard of Oz, which is like unheard of now. Mm-hmm. Well, now they have another one, but anyway, point is, that was like that was in the 80s. That was in like the throw of like the beginning of the 80s. And that she starred in a bunch of different stuff. TV, little movies that I had never heard of, whatever. So this wasn't her first role, but it was probably her first like really big role besides Return to Oz.
Right.
So yeah. I wrote about how hot Skeet Ulrich is, obviously. He's such a dick in this fucking movie. Mm-hmm. I wrote how great the soundtrack is. It's so perfectly 90s, and like all of their outfits, their makeup, it all sets the scene of this era, which is really cool. And I also wrote that Fairuza, aka Nancy, is like so good off top. Mm-hmm. Like, she's such a good fucking actor. She's so believable, like the way she delivers lines, and like she's just so cool.
Yeah,
And
she really inhabits Nancy.
She
like, you believe
does.
that's how she really is.
Yeah, you could tell.
Yeah.
You could tell. Like this role was like, this couldn't go to anybody else. Like it was her. I wrote a bunch of other stuff, but I don't want to. Yeah.
Well, if I can jump in on occult shops.
Yeah.
I know you and I love an occult shop.
Oh yeah.
Steph, how do you feel about occult shops?
I've been to the Psychic Guy bookstore.
Fuck yeah. Moved locations, by the way. The rainbow one doesn't exist anymore.
Really?
That was
They
the
just
first
closed
one,
it down.
right?
Yeah.
There's one kind of by us. They have a few locations, which is cool.
Yeah. I only knew of this one and that one. The one that's closer to us.
No,
Yeah.
but I do enjoy going to them and touching all the cool shit.
All the trinkets and the herbs, and you're like, ooh. They're super fun.
Oh yeah, I need to go back. Actually, I got to get some things. But yeah, I love occult shops so much. What'd you say?
Oh, I just said you got to get your supplies.
I do have to get my supplies. Yeah,
Witchy supplies.
yeah.
I called the corners once with my coworkers.
You did?
So
That's cool.
We all went to go see Craft, an unauthorized musical parody, which was put on by the Majestic Repertory Theater downtown, which has kind of made this niche for themselves where they take 90s films and they turn them into musical parodies, and then they choose music from the era. So this one had just like a bunch of 90s rock grunge stuff. It was amazing. They also did it with Scream, and that one really like became nationwide news.
Oh yeah, we talked about it on the pod.
Yeah, so
remember
they've
that
done it
one.
like multiple times. The Craft, as far as I know, they only did once, which makes me sad because it was really cool.
Yeah.
And then after we watched that, there was 4 of us, and we're like, we could call the corners. so we went. I think it was like Katie's office. We go in, and I was the South, of
Yes!
course. I forget who. Katie was the East because she's Russian. I think Elise might have been the North, and Kristen was the West. and we did their little chant, and we called the corners, and we wished. I don't remember exactly what we said. I think we said destruction to our enemies.
Hell yeah.
And then the next day, the Prime Minister of Japan died, and we're like, oh no,
Is he an enemy?
it went wrong. We
was
can't do that again.
That's incredible.
So we always joke about how when we called the corners, we killed the Prime Minister of Japan.
I mean,
Whoopsies.
I do think we're more powerful than we realize we are in that
Yeah,
regard.
don't mess
I
with
really
corners,
do.
man. So like maybe we shouldn't have said destruction.
Destroy our enemy.
We should have gone a little lighter.
Hey, you never know what
Did
could
you
happen.
do witchy stuff with your friends? Stuff like light as a feather, stiff as a
Oh
board?
yeah, we did that.
Ouija
No
board,
one-
famously in our house.
Yes,
All
which
the time. Which
I
shocked
don't-
Shea.
I've never done that.
There's some scary shit with the Ouija board.
Oh, Ouija board, yeah.
Yeah.
That's some exorcist shit. I can't.
Yeah, I
And it
remember
then-
Shea coming over, and we were so used to playing with the Ouija board. They're
Yeah.
like, you want to play with the Ouija board? And she was like, no.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to get possessed. Thank you so much, because that's the start of the. You probably know,
Yeah.
but
And I
it's
was
the start
like,
of the
it's
exorcism.
fun. We play with it all the time.
And I was like, I'm like slowly like leaving.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We did have some scary shit happen with that, and we tried to get rid of it, and it showed up in the bottom of the closet in the front entryway after we tried to get rid of it. And then another time I threw it out at Dave's condo, and it ended up back inside, like in the big dumpster outside. So I don't know where it ended up. It probably just stayed in that condo after we left.
Good. Stay. Do not come with. No, that is freaky shit. Like, it's scary. Once you open, because I'm really spiritual. Like, I'm very witchy. So, like, when you open those doors in that way and you believe that, and like, that's fucking scary, bro.
Yeah.
We all swore, like, we're not moving it. We're not moving it. Dun-dun-dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
It's
Did our
done.
parents buy us a Ouija board,
I think they
or
must have.
did I just bring it home and no one
That's a good
questioned?
question. It
Followed you
was always
home.
around when I was
No one
growing
ever
up.
bought
Like,
it.
how did this get in my backpack?
It just
I
showed
just
up.
pictured, them singing like little 5-year-old me, like, hee hee, and they're just like, oh well.
Like, whatever. And it was also really popular.
This is fine.
It was really popular in the 70s, too, so I'm sure that they were, like, unfazed by seeing it, right?
Yeah, I don't think they generally believe in that.
Yeah, so
stuff.
they're probably like,
Yeah.
who cares?
I'm like,
That would be
oh,
a
isn't that
hard
cute?
no in my house.
Yeah.
My mom would see it and be like, yeah, no.
Burn it.
No.
So when you guys called the corners, did you have your respective animals with you?
No, we did only have a crystal cat,
Okay.
and that was it. We didn't have access to other animals.
You're like, oh, you
Lord.
didn't have your turtle, your tortoise?
This was on the lunch hour, okay, everyone? So don't come for us.
Yeah.
Everything
We
was
were
on the up
real
and up
busy,
button.
okay? We had a half an hour. Fuck off.
What we do on our own time.
And my motherfucking business.
Exactly.
Oh gosh. Well, death to your enemies. I liked Nancy's wish and how it kind of came true against her stepdad. Jerk off with
I know, what a dick.
White.
I was cracking up because I was like, okay, you've got Nancy, who is plagued by a terrible family life, abusive asshole. You've got Bonnie, who's plagued by scars, not as bad. And then you have, what's her name? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking out.
Rachel.
No,
or Sarah.
not Sarah. But anyways, her enemy was white supremacy.
Yeah,
and I was like,
I
that's a lot
know.
to take on, girl.
Rochelle.
Rochelle. I was like, that is, oh, Michelle. Rochelle. I was like, that is a heavy fight to fight.
And she's getting, like, bullied.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
fucked
Yeah.
up.
And again, teacher's not doing anything. The coach is
no.
just like, oh, stop.
Yeah, he's like, watch it, like,
Yeah.
cool it.
Yeah, be
Fuck
quiet.
off.
Yeah.
She is openly racist. What the
I know,
hell?
she's literally being a white supremacist. So
And you're just letting her. Crazy.
gross.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. Another moment of adults not doing anything is they're standing in the hallway and Nancy opens her locker and pulls out a noose.
Yeah.
And the security guard, not just a teacher, but
Yeah.
the security guard walks by and makes eye contact
Oh,
and
yeah.
just keeps on walking.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
doesn't
like,
give a fuck.
you're not going to stop this?
It's just like, and it's like oddly huge.
She's like flinging it around.
Yeah, it's like
it's a
very
balloon.
thick.
And
I'm like, what the fuck?
schools did not care at this time.
They're so iconic. Ugh. Not that, but you know, everything else.
Yeah, that was rough. The school uniforms, I liked how they all had their own accessories
Yeah.
and their
I
own way
love
to
a school
personalize.
uniform. They're gorge.
Yeah,
Every
we dressed up like that for the play. So I had like a long white button-down dress with like the like leather harness thing. I was like, this is cool.
time. Hell yeah.
I should wear it more often.
I want to dress like that one. I should have dressed like that right now.
Stupid.
Instead I'm wearing a stupid fish dad shirt.
Yeah, Shea's shirt is amazing. It's a brown button-up leisure shirt with a graphic pattern of like a giant bass fish, I believe. Like a Billy Bass fish.
Yep. It's one of my Kramer shirts. I have like lots of Kramer shirts. This is one of them.
It's incredible.
I love it so much. But anyway, I should have dressed like that. Stupid.
No.
Oh, man.
What was the scariest Nancy moment for you?
Oh, mine's easy. You're sorry! You're sorry! She's like has a complete meltdown and then kills Skeet.
I would say the scariest moment is the very end when she's like tied up to her bed in the, mental hospital, I assume. And she's like, her face is all scarred and she's just like smiling, like, scary. Yeah, it's very exorcist-y. Don't like it.
She's like, I'm flying.
She's like, I'm fine. She's like
so good.
smiling and she's all scarred and she's like, ah! Like she obviously looks like manic and yeah, it's scary.
What about you, Steph?
I don't like the bugs and the snake things. So when Sarah looks at her and turns mental on her and she falls down and she's got snakes coming out of her hair and her fingers turn to snakes. And then when Sarah's in the bathroom and the shower door is shut and all the snakes come falling down on the glass and
all those snakes, all those bugs,
those.
everything were real. The only ones that weren't were the ones that were climbing on Feruza. Those weren't real. But everything else was real.
I would throw a fit.
I know. I'm like, how? How did you get so many snakes? How did you get so many? Like, how all the maggots were real? Like, everything was real. That's it.
Okay, if you had to rank it from the worst, bugs, snakes, and maggots specifically, what's the worst?
maggots.
Okay, but like crawling on you, like being on you? Or...
yeah, why not?
Cockroach number one. I fucking hate cockroaches so much.
Disgusting.
Then maggots, then snakes. Snakes, I'm like not that bothered by at all.
Yeah, snakes don't bother me either.
Yeah,
I just don't want to see them crawling down the walls in mass numbers.
I guess I've never experienced that. So believe it or not,
I don't know. Roaches are.
I hate roaches. There's something about them that like they legitimately scare me. I don't like seeing them at all.
I don't think I could handle a snake being on me though. I think I'd freak out.
Did you guys ever watch Fear Factor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Couldn't.
Joe Rogan,
And
dumbass.
all the crazy bugs and spiders and snakes that he put on people in those days.
Couldn't be me.
The ones that creep me out the most were the fucking like cockroach one or like the bug ones.
No, I don't care if they're friendly.
No,
I don't want them on me.
I know.
Ugh.
I know. What about tarantulas?
Yeah, no.
Is that number one?
Like,
for
I
you?
feel like when you were a kid in the 90s, maybe this is true of all kids now. Steph, maybe you could speak to this with your kid. Yeah. I feel like there was a lot of kids wandering around the 90s with tarantulas, and they'd be like, here, hold it. And I'd be like, absolutely not.
Yep.
I do remember having friends that had pet spiders.
They're everywhere.
Drake does not like spiders. If he sees a spider in a movie, he's better now, but for a while, like, he had to close his eyes. At Harry Potter, when the big spider thing comes up, he skipped through it. And playing the Harry Potter game, he put it in the arachnophobia mode because he didn't want to see the spiders.
Okay.
Oh, that's cute.
But he doesn't have, as far as you know, kids at school bringing in their goddamn tarantulas.
I don't think so.
I do feel like that's gone down a lot.
Yeah.
It was all the rage in the 90s, and I hated it.
You know why? Home Alone.
Yeah.
I think
Oh
Home
my
Alone.
God, you're so right.
I think that's what inspired. They're like, oh, they're like cool and they
pets.
help you solve crime. No, the fuck they don't.
And as we talked about, they don't have ears.
Yeah.
Scary.
That was the weirdest thing that we learned. It was like, ooh, I don't like that. No, I don't like tarantulas either, but honestly, cockroaches more.
Okay.
I hate them.
See, I feel like I could easily kill a cockroach,
Yeah.
whereas killing a tarantula would be, ugh.
Yeah, have a big shoe.
Yeah. Oh, God, it'd be so gross.
If the scenario is you're like standing in the middle of nowhere and then there's just 4 different beasts that are like climbing on you one at a time, like crawling over your foot, okay? So barefoot, let's say.
Oh, no.
Snake, tarantula, cockroach, maggot. Number 1 is cockroach.
Okay.
And then tarantula. Depending on the size, they could be interchangeable. Then maggot, then snake. Snake would really not bother. If I knew they weren't poisonous, none of them would, like, it wouldn't bother me.
I can't do maggot worm creatures.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
You need an exoskeleton, or you need a skeleton of
Yes.
some kind.
When it rains and all the worms used to come out of our front yard and be on the sidewalk, I would actively avoid them.
Really?
Yeah. Awful.
Like,
I know a lot of
bitch,
people that
where's
are
your
like that.
spinal cord? I don't trust you.
Yeah. You can live if I cut you in half. Fuck that shit. It's like zombies.
What about like millipedes? Are you one of the people that hate those? My dad also hates those.
Don't they bite too? Aren't they like?
I don't
or
know.
those centipedes?
I think millipedes bite.
Centipedes are equally gross.
Yeah, they're all fucking gross. Too many legs.
Yeah.
4's your limit, man.
Yeah. Just
Anything more, I don't like it.
the long,
make sense?
the long and squirmy. I can't do it.
Sounds like my
thing.
ex-wife.
Rim shot. What about so snakes would be like up there also.
For some reason, snakes don't bother me.
Oh yeah, you did say that. Yeah,
I think because they're bigger, so you can like.
you can see them better.
Yeah, and they don't come in multiples.
I think that's
Maybe
that's what I
that's
don't like
it.
about cockroaches. I imagine them like all coming, taking over.
Just eating your skin off. Just
Yeah,
done.
just whatever. I don't even know what they do, but I don't like it. Okay, and then what was the thing?
Spiders don't bother me.
They don't. Okay.
I fucking hate
well then-
spiders.
So in my house, I'm the spider wrangler, and I'll try to throw them outside if I can.
I do too. They do so much good. I try to just like leave them alone, really, if I can.
I
I don't need you.
I think because of you. This was one of your possible finalists for this month. It is arachnophobia.
Yes.
And I saw the movie Arachnophobia way too young, and I was convinced that poisonous spiders were lurking everywhere and they were gonna kill me.
I never
Now,
saw that
when I
one.
put my shoes on, I'm like, I think that's why I like sandals, because I'm like, I can see right away if
Yeah.
there's any spiders in this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one that holds up that will still make you scared. But I had a scary spider moment when we first built the room in the garage because it was the creepy crawly zone, and now it's my bedroom where I'm sleeping. And I used to catch crickets and let them out because we had crickets everywhere. And so I'm watching TV. It's dark. It's nighttime. And there's something on the wall. And I was like, oh, it must be a cricket. So I was going to go get it. And at the last minute, I was like, I'm going to get a cup. So I got a red Solo cup, piece of paper, slid that thing in there, and I look inside, and it was one of those mama spiders that carries all the little spiders on her back. So so this one does me. In the bottom of the cup, there's like 100 little things moving around. Like the whole bottom of the cup is
to
just
run out of
moving.
this house.
And I don't know what I did with it. I don't remember. I may have.
How did you not just voluntarily throw it
I
and
know!
then be in a
I
world
don't
of trouble?
remember that part. I blocked it out.
Yeah.
The fact
threw
that
it in
I
your
was
room.
gonna grab it
No,
with my hand, and at the last minute stopped.
Yeah.
There were also scorpions in that room. So
Ew. Something similar happened to me, but it wasn't in my fucking house, luckily. But I was on a walk with Bruno, R.I.P.
Sweet boy.
I was on a walk with him, and I saw, like, it was at night, and I saw this, like, shadow that looked like a big spider, and I was like, oh, shit, like, that looks like a tarantula. We lived right next to a graveyard, so I was like, oh, I wonder if blah, blah. So I, like, take my phone light, and I shine it, and immediately it's like, the same fucking thing. The same fucking thing. They were just about to hatch, or they were chilling on there, or whatever, but as soon as the light...
It's like they know and they wait.
I know, they're
Until
like,
they're being perceived, and they're like, yeah!
with their bajillion eyes.
Now
Disgusting.
I'm like, they're all over me.
You should be disgusted with yourselves. Look what you did to my wife.
I did kill a giant spider in Costa Rica for Becca and I.
Oh, I was
very
just
proud
telling
of
my mom
myself.
about this. Actually,
We couldn't, it was
huge.
there was no getting away.
It was like the size of a small dinner plate. Like, it was... It was so big, and it was in our shower. And so I was like, okay, if we kill it, we can just maybe wash its body parts down the drain. It'll be fine.
That's smart.
But I had my shoe, and I knew there was only one shot. And I was holding it like a javelin.
One opportunity.
And I was
It's 8 Mile.
and I threw it, and I hit it just right, and its like legs flew off. It was gross. And I was like, oh, like I was horrified with what I'd done, and I was like, but I was like, we can't sleep with that thing here.
No.
There's no way.
No.
I would have
And
called.
we can't get it out of here.
No.
Ding, ding, ding. Front desk.
You're so brave. That's crazy.
I probably shouldn't have said that. The Costa Rican police are probably going to be like, you can't kill spiders here.
Okay, well, it was self-defense for our life. So fuck you. No, that's crazy.
Oh.
Yeah, when I learned... So I watched the movie, then I saw the fun fact about how they're all real, and I was like...
That makes sense.
No.
That is a harrowing scene. The whole end is like really good.
Yeah.
Very scary and exciting.
It's unexpected when, like, the juxtaposition between, like, the beginning where there's such a sisterhood and it's a literal coven, and then at the end where, like, none of them are cool again. Like, that does make me sad because I'm like, this could have been something so cool. But I guess when you put teenagers together and they have that much power, shit goes awry. So
Yeah, I was kind of sad there wasn't like a happy ending.
And I'm like, at least the three of y'all aren't going to be cool.
Yeah.
Damn. I was sad. I rewatching it, I was like, oh yeah, they're not friends again. Fuck. But yeah, that's sad.
The life pension. I have one more.
Okay.
The life pension that they get after Nancy kills the guy is $175,000. Which, I like my inflation calculator.
I did it for this too.
$350,825. So that's a significant chunk of change if you're living in a trailer.
Yeah.
Very
You
true.
got a nice little condo.
She gets a red convertible.
Jukebox.
Yeah, Veruca Salt's life really turned out pretty good.
Yeah.
Until
she fucked it all up. She as soon as that happened, she was like, "Oh, so I'm God now."
Right.
And she was all walked on literal water. I'm sorry, the teenagers walking on water.
And I was like, how long has she been doing that? Because they wake up and she's just like on the water. I'm like, was she just waiting for hours? She's like, this bitch is gonna wake up.
Like, oh, they're twitching. Okay.
And then they're looking at me.
With the music.
No, she went all the way to another country and came
Maybe.
back.
I know. I was like, how long has she been out there? Struck by lightning looking ass.
I didn't forgot that they all wake up and she's like,
Exactly. I was like,
I'm like, you're not that far out, dude.
waiting. Yeah.
She probably just like ran back. She's like, oh.
Exactly. She's like, gotta look cool.
It was pretty fucking cool, not gonna lie.
And then the gross dead whales.
Sad. And sharks.
Yeah. Speaking of which, did you guys hear the new RFK Jr. story?
No.
The guy who's formerly running for president.
No.
And he got busted because there was pictures of him eating a dog. And he tried to say it wasn't a dog, but veterinarians were like, it's a dog. You can tell by their ribs. And then he got
You can tell
busted.
by their ribs?
Yeah, like I guess canines have like special ribs. And they could tell from the picture, like he's eating a dog.
Was the dog cooked?
Yeah, the dog's cooked.
Okay.
So it did take like you wouldn't be able to know necessarily, but veterinarians like that is 1,000% a dog. And then he got busted because, oh gosh, maybe like 10 years ago, a dead bear cub was found in Central Park. And everyone was like really creeped out and didn't know where it came from. And they're like, I don't think there's bears here. So people were like, somebody killed this bear and then brought it to Central Park. And here's the worst part. Whoever did it set it up like it was like riding a bike and like just weird twisted shit. Fast forward 10 years, fucking RFK Jr. goes on Roseanne Barr's show. And he's like, I can't, he's got a crazy voice. Have you heard his voice?
No.
It's very disturbing because he like did too much heroin or something, so he sounds nuts. But he's like, I can't wait to see how they spin this. But I hit a bear, and then I thought it'd be funny to put it in Central Park like it was a bike riding accident. And so people are like, oh my God, that was him?
Oh my.
And then it gets worse. He took a picture of it with his hand in its mouth, and it's like open wound on the side, like pretending it was biting him.
I mean, it was already dead. I appreciate his comedic tone.
He says it was already dead. I think looking back, we all suspect he killed that bear.
It's still
cub.
wild.
And it's a cub. It's like a little baby bear.
The fact that there was no like empathy in that moment and he was like joking about it, that's pretty wild.
And the story he told was so crazy because they're like, you can't just pick up a bear in the woods and then drive it to Central Park and drop it off. And he's like, no, I had to because I had put it in my car and I was going to dispose of it properly. But then I realized I had to get on a plane and I couldn't keep this dead bear cub in my car forever. So I did an elaborately staged bike riding accident with the bike in my car. Like, what the hell?
Like a vaudeville nightmare. Just
And
like
you know
a
what?
bear on a fucking bike in Central Park.
And it's, I think, because somebody had gotten like hurt in a bike accident recently. The whole thing's fucked up. And then just today, stories broke that
God.
he once cut the head off of a whale with a chainsaw, put it on top of his car, and drove it to his house.
He sounds like a villain in a fucking Ace Ventura
Yes.
movie.
I triple check this because I'm like, there's no way this is true. And then his wife See, it gets even crazier. She's like, yeah, haha, he loves skulls. So we had to go down to the beach when he heard there was a dead whale, and he brought his chainsaw and he put it on the roof. But the smell of the whale guts was so terrible. So we put plastic bags over our heads with holes for the mouth so we could breathe, and we drove home like that.
Horrifying.
Can you imagine seeing that? Like looking over, and there's a dead whale head on top of a car.
Fucking
and then
Dementors?
several people in the car with bags over them. It's so terrifying.
White Dementor freaks.
This guy's so weird.
I like this guy. I like horror movies.
Yeah, horror movie.
He's my
Very
favorite
entertaining.
villain.
After this, I'm gonna have to show you his voice. He sounds so nuts.
It doesn't seem real.
I know. I'm like, how's there 3 stories of you being a fucking weirdo?
That's like truly like psychotic type shit. For real.
Is he the one with the parasite in the brain?
Yes, he has a worm in his brain. So I guess a lot of this can be chalked up to the worm.
Wait, really?
Yeah, he's got a fucking worm in his brain.
Probably from the shark.
Or eating dogs or whatever the hell he's been doing.
Where was he eating dogs here?
No, somewhere else.
Okay.
Where they eat dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why when you try to be like, no, I wasn't eating dog there, people are like, yeah.
I
people do
feel like
there.
it's more common in
Yeah,
other
like,
places.
just admit that you were doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
His lunch special number 1.
Yeah.
Anyways,
That's crazy.
dead whales.
Yeah, I don't blame you for bringing that up. That's an insane
Crazy.
thing.
I just heard this today, and I was like, what the fuck? Anyway. The bags over the head
Like I
really
said,
got me.
sounds like an Ace Ventura villain, and he needs to be stopped. Somebody needs to stop this guy. That's crazy.
Anyway, Steph, what were you saying?
Yeah, sorry, Steph.
No, that's it. That's all I got. I got trivia for you guys whenever you want. I want to follow this guy's life.
Honestly,
It's something.
nutso supreme. I wrote, so there's a couple movies we've covered now where, like, butt is used seriously, but it sounds, like, so fucking lame. Like, they could have just said ass, probably. But it's the part where they're playing Light as a Feather, Stiff as a Board, which, by the way, I've never played.
Ooh, really? We've
Never.
played.
I've never done
A
it.
lot.
I don't think we ever got anybody to float.
Really?
In my head, we did one time, but it probably wasn't true.
I always wanted to play it, but anyway, yeah, and it's when she falls, right? Because she's like up in the air for a while, and then the mom walks in, she falls, and she's like, "Oh no, my butt!" I'm just like, it just didn't fit her character. She just didn't seem to be. But for some reason, in '90s movies, they're like, "My butt!" Like it's just so.
And this had to have been rated PG-13. They could have said
It
it.
had to, yeah. Really, there's nooses. People are literally cutting their wrist multiple times, but saying
she
ass
says
is
the
not-
F word too. Remember once? I think they say that you can
yeah.
get one F word and still be
Oh, yeah.
PG-13.
And she's like, "Oh no, my butt!" I'm like,
You're like,
bro,
all right, Rochelle.
redonk. But yeah, I did also write that because I looked this up, that there was a Wiccan onset advisor named Pat Devon, and wrote incantations for the movie, and also advised them to not use a real deity. And I'm glad that they didn't do that, because that could have made things messy. Just even if you don't believe in that, like just with people who are hardcore Wiccans, like they could have been pissed about, like you know what I mean?
Right.
It would have caused some bullshit. So
Smart move.
it is cool that they made the Manon up. Oh, and while I was watching the movie today, like as I was watching it and they were talking about Manon, whatever, I got a new like move in. I haven't really talked about my job here, but anyway, someone's last name was Manon. And I was like, duh.
I love when shit like that happens. You're in the right place.
It was with 2 N's though. It was MANN.
like
Oh,
Manon or something. Interesting.
that is nuts. But anyway,
That's so cool.
those are the notes I have though. I really didn't write a lot.
Okay, I have some. Women's pain not being taken seriously.
Oh my God.
When Bonnie is having her scar treatment, it might hurt a little. I'm like, give her a Xanax.
Yeah.
Give her a topical anesthetic.
Yeah.
What are we doing? But she's like screaming in pain, and they're just like, oh well.
Such a good point to bring
Yeah.
up. Our pain is not taken seriously.
And
Way
I will
less
never
than
stop
men.
talking about it. I said another holy nips moment in the 90s. You know, on Scream, famously, what's her name? Oh my gosh, what's her name?
Rose McGowan.
Yeah, Rose McGowan's character. She goes into the garage and it's like,
Hard
nips alert.
I know what you're talking
There was
about.
a scene with Nancy where she's going through the school and I was like, whoa.
With a white shirt.
Yeah, white shirt.
I was like, this is a lot.
Hell
Very
yeah.
90s trope. I loved Firuza and her mom smoking when they were getting the life insurance policy. They're both just. I was like, this is incredible. This is perfect. I did the inflation thing. Oh, the blonde effect is hilarious. Like, it looks so trash now.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when she gets the blonde hair.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I was
It's
like,
very wiggy.
I was like, they just tried to color grade it, which was not
And it
a good
looks
idea.
so bad.
Probably my favorite scene is when they call the corners. I don't know why I always love that scene the most.
It's really powerful, and it also takes all of them to work in sync together. And it's also just like a dramatic location. They're like on the ocean.
Yeah, I think
can
that's the scene that stuck out to me the most when I watched as a kid. I was like, that would be cool.
Hell
and
yeah.
then I probably just closed my eyes for the rest because that's when it starts to get really bad.
Yeah, it is pretty hardcore. We kind of we didn't do that, but like when we skinny dipped at the beach house in Florida, all four of us, we called the Powers of Poseidon.
And that one witch lady. So we went to Florida and we were getting groceries, right?
Yep.
And we went up to this lady. What was she doing? She had like a stand.
I don't know why. It was watermelon. She was giving out samples of. I'll always remember because it was yum.
And we're like, oh, watermelon, yum. And we go up to her and she looks at us. And at this time, it was just me, you, and Becca.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she goes, 3 women. Very powerful. And we're like, oh, she's a witch.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, she's a witch and she's giving us watermelon. We need to take it. And then we bought some watermelon too. Love that. She was our queen. She recognized. She was like the lady at the occult shop.
She was. That was like, she kind of looked like her.
Yeah, she did look like her. And she was just
energy.
like, 3 women. Powerful stuff. And we're like, we just like all floated up in the air. God, love that lady. Whoever she is, shouts out.
And then I just had a lot of notes about snakes and how gross they are, which we've talked about extensively.
flipping through the pages.
So I did keep track of how many scenes had snakes.
Oh my gosh.
Damn.
Yeah, because
Look
it
at your
started out
index.
in like the opening one.
Yeah, I forgot that was the very
something.
opening scene. Is that guy being like,
Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the final scene. You know, closing 10
Snake-a-palooza.
minutes. They're just everywhere.
You know, they're very symbolic in like spirituality.
what are they symbolic of?
Well, even like biblically, right? Like they represent betrayal
The devil.
and like deception, and that's kind of what happens at the end. You know, someone like a transformation. Like I don't know. There's a lot to be said with that. I feel like that's probably why they did it.
Yeah, one of the lines, somebody, I didn't write down who it was, but they said, the serpent is a very powerful being. You should respect it. Don't fuck with those snakes.
Can't fuck with them.
Have you ever been around a rattlesnake? They're scary.
Oh yeah, I've killed a rattlesnake
Really?
before. My dad and
With
I
your
had
bare
to
hands?
at the camp.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have the rattles in the. Well, he has the rattles in his garage.
What'd you kill it with?
A fucking axe.
Ooh.
My fist.
Dad killed a rattlesnake once.
Brought it home from good old Lake Mead.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're scary. I hadn't heard one until, when everyone was hiking during COVID because we were all losing our minds. And we went out to some, lakeside hike. And it was so weird because it's like my body knew something was bad before my mind could process it. Because I was just like, walk, walk, freeze.
Yeah.
And then I put it together like, what's that sound? And then
How
I looked over and it was honestly gigantic.
Yeah,
it was
they're
like a big ass and shorter than I would think.
Yeah.
But then I saw this little rattler guy. And I don't know what you're supposed to do, but I just ran.
Yeah.
I was like, Red, go, there's rattlesnakes.
There's a snake.
Ugh, it was gross. But it was weird. It was like a caveman defense.
You knew it was there.
Before I realized, why am I freaking out? And I was like, ah!
Sixth sense. We really do. That's.
Saves our lives.
Yeah, that's wild.
And that's why we have negativity bias, which is interesting. If I can just go off on a tangent.
Please.
So, our ancestors, if they saw something that looked snake-like on the ground, an optimist might say, it's probably a stick. A negative person would say, it's a snake, get away from it. And guess which strain of ancestors survived? The negative ones who saw danger everywhere.
Yeah.
Like the Crudes.
Stacy.
Crude
So
family.
now we're all paranoid as hell.
That's Stacy.
I'm a crude.
No, you're just I feel like in any situation, you're like, I could see what could go wrong here, which is what we all need.
I do
I'm
have
the
a
one that's
spidey
like,
sense.
no matter what, we're all gonna, it's bad.
That's why I wouldn't have built that treehouse and Ernest Scared Stupid. Nope.
And I'd be like, you guys, I have snacks up here. Let's fucking rage.
What's the worst thing that could happen? Droll.
Yeah. Troll. Yeah. That's why we work so well together. You know? Because I don't have much of that. But
Your
you have it
ancestors
all.
were living free and careless.
Yep. Yep.
Ours were apparently on top of their shit.
Well, your dad's very much like that too, right? Mm-hmm. Like he's very. But you know,
I think both
so
our
my
parents are pretty safety oriented,
Yes.
risk adverse,
Yes.
not into danger at all.
You know what though? Neither my parents are like that too. So I don't know why. I don't know how.
You're the rebel.
I guess.
Although Dad did race cars, which is very dangerous.
Yeah. That was the only dangerous thing they did.
Yeah.
And Grandpa running booze in his race car.
Building a car out of wood,
Yeah. The humdinger.
which does seem like a bad
He
idea.
took some sort of Jeep frame and built just a wood humdinger, like before the Hummer was cool. And he spray painted it camo, and it sat out in the yard forever. And somebody actually bought it. Because I think it was in the
Kids drive it.
newspaper.
What?
I think it was in the newspaper. They're like, this redneck guy built a car out of wood. He's calling it a humdinger.
His houseboat was also made out of wood.
Really?
Yeah, it was on top of a fishing boat, and he
Oh,
made
it's very
that.
creative.
It was blue, blue
Very
enclosed houseboat.
That's nutso.
They can engineer some shit when they need to.
That's hilarious. That's like some Flintstones shit. They just have to use their feet. Oh man. Well, those are all the notes I have. I don't know about y'all.
It was a lot of snake stuff.
Yeah, lots of
which I'm
snake
glad
stuff.
We talked about.
All right, Shay, we're gonna see your
Oh,
craft
yeah. Oh,
knowledge
yeah.
So
here.
you're on deck for trivia.
shit.
I'm
Okay.
here if you need to phone me.
Okay, I'm
I think
scared.
we may have talked about some of them, but we'll see.
Okay.
What artist is the only one on the jukebox in the new penthouse apartment?
I don't know her name, but it's like a lady.
It is a female.
Yeah.
Remember her name either?
It's like one lady and
Patty
it's all
something.
Connie Francis.
Connie Francis.
I don't know any Connie
I was
Francis
gonna
songs.
say, I bet she has a famous song. Do
They
we
said
know?
it like 14
No.
times. What shows up in the woods after the girls drink the blood wine?
What shows up in the forest after they drink the blood wine?
You're gonna kick yourself when you remember.
They all drink it. And they talk about what they want.
It's on your neck.
Oh, a butterfly.
Lots of
Yeah.
butterflies.
And I would have come up with that on my own. So,
What glamour look does Nancy ask for after Sarah turns her hair blonde?
I'm bad at this.
It's such
Yeah,
a
okay.
90s thing.
What'd you say?
It's such a 90s thing.
Is it?
Yeah, that would not be a thing now.
Quite the opposite.
Well, for women obsessed with in the 90s, that is like opposite now.
Why am I don't even know. Like, to be fair, I was working at the same time as I was listening to this. But, I don't remember. I know she turned her eyes brown, and then she turned her eyes, and then she turned herself blonde. And then I heard Nancy be like, wait, do this to me now. But I don't remember. What is it?
She wishes for a smaller ass.
Oh, yeah. I did not. Yeah, because I was just like, yeah, I knew that, actually.
And she doesn't exactly have a big booty in the movie to begin with.
In all these 90s movies, are like, her ass is enormous. And you're like, where?
Like, it was-
What? Are we
it's
looking at the
fucking
same lady?
tiny.
All right. What kind of fish was used when they invoked the spirit of Manon? This is a
Goldfish?
Wasn't it?
nope.
Was it beta?
Nope.
I don't know either. I honestly
Was
don't
it
know.
a clownfish?
It was.
Okay.
Clownfish? Okay.
Yes.
Clownfish. We got there eventually.
My brain remembered goldfish, and then when I saw it, I was like,
I thought it was,
oh.
yeah, I could have sworn it was
I'm like, goldfish.
What was Nancy's first power she was able to do after she invoked Manon? You talked about it already.
Well, did we talk about it? Like she killed her fucking stepdad or whatever?
No, sooner than that. On the beach, she walks on the water.
Oh, walks on the water. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's nuts, by the way. Such a weird
That'd be
scene.
so
Yeah.
Feels like you're running at an incredible rate, Harry.
And then where was Sarah from originally?
San Francisco.
Yep.
San Francisco.
Good job.
Oh, I got one right.
Together.
You're right.
With multiple
great.
guesses.
You're right.
We got them all right.
That's true. Nice. Okay, are we ready for a personality quiz?
I'm ready. I don't have my phone, but we can pass yours around.
Okay, no worries. Okay, so everyone's personality matches a character from the craft. Here's yours. All right, Steph, which direction are you most drawn to? North, south, east, or west?
West.
West. Okay. What are you using your powers for? Love, beauty, power, or revenge?
Power.
That was quick. She didn't have to think about that. Power! Unlimited power!
Which magical object are you most drawn to? Crystal ball, tarot cards, spellbook, or cauldron?
Spellbook.
Good one.
Love it. How do you deal with a crush? Sabotage the person they have a crush on? Ask them out? Use your magic to cast a love spell? Or dress your best and try to attract them?
3.
Cast a love spell?
Yes.
Yeah,
Love it,
got
baby.
him. Got him.
What do you fear most? Old age, bullies, snakes, or losing your mind?
Oh, I'm already losing my mind, so that's not scary.
Quite nice.
I don't know, bullies?
Bullies.
Bullies.
Dude, yeah, fuck bullies. You're Rochelle.
Oh.
You're
Okay.
strong-willed, and you always speak up when something isn't right. Your element is water.
It's true.
Very cool.
Nice. Is this a BuzzFeed, by the way?
Yeah,
Okay,
of course. Okay, I'll give it to you as well.
Thank
okay.
you.
Which direction are you most drawn to?
I'm going to say south because that's the corner I called.
Yes, baby. What are you using your powers for? Love, beauty, power, or revenge?
I mean, I guess we used it for revenge.
Yeah, you did.
Unknowingly.
Against the Japanese Prime Minister. Which magical object are you most drawn to? Crystal ball, tarot cards, spellbook, or cauldron?
I love a tarot card. They're beautiful.
They're gorgeous every time. How do you deal with a crush? Sabotage the person they have a crush on, ask them out, use your magic to cast a love spell, or dress your best and try to attract them?
Dress my best and try to attract.
Sexy. Very Gemini.
Yeah. I don't need no goddamn magic.
What do you fear the most? Old age, bullies, snakes, or losing your mind?
Snakes.
Snakes. And then you cue to like the 17 pages she wrote on different snake facts.
More snake notes. All right.
You're Bonnie.
Oh.
You care a lot about your appearance, and at times you can be a little vain, but you always mean well. Your element
Hey,
is
BuzzFeed,
fire.
shut the fuck up. Fire.
How about you go fuck yourself?
Disagree. Okay. Just because I like to dress up nice. All right.
No.
Which direction are you most drawn to? North, south, east, west?
I'm between north and east, but I guess I'll go north.
Canadian. Very Canadian.
It's very Canadian. of
Neighbors
me.
to the north. What are you using your powers for? Love, beauty, power, revenge.
Love. But not a love spell. Just like, more love in general.
Beautiful. Which magical object are you most drawn to? Crystal ball, tarot card, spellbook, cauldron.
Spellbook, too.
Nice. How do you deal with the crush? Sabotage the person they have a crush on, ask them out, use your magic to cast a love spell, or dress your best and try to attract them.
Ask them out.
Yeah, you're like, fuck it.
Like, hello?
What do you fear the most? Old age, bullies, snakes, losing your mind.
Losing your mind. Scary.
You're Sarah. You're a natural-born witch connected to the element earth, while you have a troubled past. Your powers are strong and help you succeed. Well, yours didn't have any insults. Oh, dude, it's Steph's. Interesting.
No, it was good.
Okay.
Well, hey. This was fun. I love The Craft.
Me too. It's a fun movie. As scary and disgusting as it is, it's got a lot of fun.
Do you like it too?
I do, and I can watch it over and over again.
Oh, yeah. I feel like, it's one of those movies that you could watch over and over again. The end part is, like, so scary, though.
Maybe because it's well put together, Ebert?
Fucking
Maybe
Ebert, you
because
dumb
the plot
fucking idiot.
moves and is fine, actually.
He, like, hates all women-led movies, though. And I will stand on that, like, with some exceptions. But mostly, he just, he hates them.
Mostly if it passes the Bechdel test, he's like, no, thank you.
Womp. Yeah, no. I really feel like some of those are, like, his worst-rated movies. Mm-hmm. Miss Congeniality. I'll never get over it.
Never get over.
Trash.
Hate him.
Anyway, on that note, we love you guys so much. And thanks again, Steph. You just, like, blew us out of the water.
Yes, another successful Stephtember.
Woo, woo, woo.
Do you want to know what we're watching next time?
You don't?
No, do you want to know what we're watching next time?
I was like, I do.
Stigmata.
Stigmata, scary. Ooh.
Jesus, Steph.
All right, we'll see you guys next week for Stigmata.
See you
Can't
next
wait to
week.
talk to Steph and see what her connection to this movie is.
She'll be back.
She'll be back. Okay, love you guys.
Love you guys.
Okay, bye.
Thank Thank you for listening. Shout out to I Have No Mouth for our delightful theme song and Whitney Vertucci for our beautiful podcast art.
And all of this couldn't be possible without our amazing producer, Anthony, aka DJ Munchausen.
If you have questions for us or would like to advertise with us, please email us at blockbusterwives@gmail.com and please join our Patreon for exclusive bonus content.
As always, please rate, subscribe, and tell all your friends about us.
We love you.
Guys, it's not working. Whoa.
Shut up, you're gonna fall.
How do I get down?
Shh.
Who's got the instructions?
Just keep concentrating. Amazing.
I got clean towels for everyone.
Oh, my butt.
What's going on in here?
Nothing. Why?
Are you girls getting home?
No, Mom.